Good morning. Welcome to Social 5 University. This is Jeremiah Stetler, your host and Chief Content Officer at Social 5. I'm here at the request of Kate Drake, who's our head of Social 5 University. Excited to be with you today to talk a little bit about SEO, and particularly local SEO, and some of the things that you can do to improve your business. Before we start, let's just talk a little bit about the control panel there on the right hand side of your screen. So there are some so you can ask questions if you would like. There is a questions box there down on the bottom of your screen where you can ask questions during this webinar. We'll then have a Q&A at the end. This is meant to be live. It's meant to be engaging. So if there's any questions you have about SEO generally, or if you have questions about other elements with Social 5, whether it be Facebook or Twitter, or whatever it happens to be, happy to address those as well. All right, so jumping in. SEO for small businesses. That's what we'll be talking about today. But first, let's really give the primer on what SEO is. We hear that term tossed around all the time, and I can't tell you how many times I've seen people's eyes glass over, and occasionally they'll say, well, what is it that SEO is? And really what SEO stands for is search engine optimization, which is really the method or the process by which you can be found through major search engines, or your business or website can be found through search engines. So why would you use SEO? The reason is you want to be found by online searchers, okay? People that are out there on Google or Yahoo or Bing or some other search engine looking for a product or a service. Okay? Think about all the times that we get online and we search for, I mean, if it's my case, like baby back ribs or I have kids, and so maybe it is trampoline, like a jump on it or something like that. How many times do you look for things that you want to buy or do? All right, so that's a little bit about what SEO is. We're trying to be found. Okay. All right. So jumping in, here are a few statistics I think are valuable as we get started of why SEO may be important. So here's one fact: 69% of adults regularly search online for products and services. Okay, this is by Forrester Research. Think about that. Are you one of those? For me, I've even gotten to the point where sometimes I am shopping for groceries online. Whereas I remember back in the 90s, when online shopping was one of those new novelties, I remember saying to myself, I'm never going to buy anything online. Who would ever do that? Who would trust it? I want to put it on. I want to drive the car, whatever it happens to be. And yet now I build my laptops online and purchase them that way. I mean, so lots of commerce happening that way. All right, another statistic. Even if a customer does not make their purchase online, 83% research their product there before they make a buying decision. Okay, so those are just two statistics I thought would be helpful. Let's jump into the world of small business SEO and where businesses typically fall short. If you have your own business, or if you are really focusing on social media marketing for a company you work for, here are a few things that a small business typically has a hard time with. The first one is building credibility with search engines. If you are a young website, a young company, it's difficult to attract website traffic to your site at high enough volumes to be recognized as a credible source, a credible business. It's hard to get your brand out there in enough places so that it is recognized as being a viable, credible business. Next one is building credibility with consumers. Okay, so small businesses need to be found. Okay, and this is especially true in local markets for a brick and mortar business. Okay, think about the people that come through your doors. That can they find you on a mobile device? Can they find you on a search engine? Can they find you in I would say the phone book, but now it's Yellow Pages online, or Yellow Book, or Dex online. Those are all products that are those that are for searchability. Can they find you on a social media channel. Just this last week, I was searching for my. You know what? Maybe that's not appropriate for this conversation. My wife and I have a couple cows, okay, and so we have our own meat that we raise and all that stuff. So probably too much knowledge, but I was looking for a good butcher there in our community. I looked on Facebook to find someone in our community. Okay, so I apologize if that was an offending example to anybody, but I'm kind of the social media guy by day and farmer by night, right? Okay,
Hey,
so
Jeremiah.
yes. Is
Hey,
that you,
hey,
Kate?
sorry. I was just going to chime in on the same vein that, it's gotten to the point where, we search. Sorry, everybody. I'm home with a sick baby today. So you may hear her a little bit in the background. But it's gotten to the point where we have we search so much for things online that if a business doesn't have a website, I've gotten to the point where I'm like, oh, well, they must not be real then. Or do you know, like, if they don't have their stuff online and have a website, it's almost like you don't believe that they're really there, and that they well, you don't really trust that you want to drive all that way out of your way to go see them if you're not sure they're open or whatever it may be. So credibility, I mean, is a really big issue there, in that you know you you really do need to be online and listed in the right places, or people will think that you're not a legit business. So
Great. Hey, thank you, Kate. That's great, and happy to have the feedback of Kate Drake, who really is the leading force behind this session with Social 5 University. So yeah, great. Thank you, Kate. All right, so let's jump into a few things that you should understand when you're looking at SEO. And this is regardless of whether or not you're looking at SEO through Social 5 or if you're looking at it through another company. There are a few principles that really matter. And first of all, not all SEO is the same, okay? And I put my little, apples to oranges images on this slide here because it's very much the case. There are three types I'd like to highlight here today. And the first one really is pay-per-click, and this is paid placement there at the top of Google or Yahoo or Bing, where you pay to have your brand show up when people search for certain keywords. So for us at Social 5, it may be SEO. It may be social media content or social media marketing or graphical design. Any of those types of things, we may want to be found, and we'll pay to have our listing appear at the very top. And there's a lot of competition that goes into something like that, and sometimes it can be expensive, sometimes not. Local SEO is the next one, and this is where we focus a lot of our efforts on. This is SEO that's focused on a narrow geographic market. When I say narrow, it can be a zip code, it could be a city, it actually could even be a state. Okay, so it's a geographically centric market. And then the last is organic SEO, and this is keyword based. You often hear about people saying, well, can I have 3 keywords or 4 keywords, or I want to be found for this or that? Those keywords are something like search engine optimization. There's a keyword that we may want to be found for outside of a geographic market, maybe nationally, internationally. This is so we can appeal to all sorts of different online commerce. Okay, so those are the three types to keep in mind. And really, when you're exploring this as a business, pay-per-click is a great one when you're trying to get recognized for the first time, trying to build up your brand. It's also great if you have particular specials or deals going on, bonuses going on, things that you want to be found for immediately. Local SEO is perfect, is the place you want to spend your time, especially if you have a brick and mortar business or a geographically centric business. That's where you want to put your time and energy. Organic SEO is when you have a larger geographic market, like a national or international market, where you really don't care where people come from. They're primarily doing commerce online. Okay, and that's particularly true if there is a more competitive market, like if you are selling shoes. There's going to be a lot of people selling shoes. So those are the three different types. And I'll give you a little bit of an example of what that looks like in just a moment. Our approach, and I think I've mentioned this many times, is we focus on local, local, local because it tends to generate the quickest return, and it's the easiest one to see the return on investment on. And I guess in the case of pay per click, you can track it statistically, fairly easy. But local, local, local is our approach that we push through a number of packages. Our launch boost. And then rank is a little different. We do a combination of local and organic for businesses that may be national in scope. All right, so just to give you visually an understanding of where that local SEO fits, take a look here on the screen. You'll see paid advertising at the top, and you've probably seen those in the past where it says ad next to the side. You see that little yellow box that says ad. Okay, this is where you'll actually pay to have those listings appear. The local listings, Peter Pecta, pick a pickle peppers, sorry, tongue twister, are right below those paid listings. So you'll see in this case, I searched for automotive, okay? And so I found a whole bunch of different automotive places that are in my geography, and it has their address and their phone number, has reviews that were listed about them, it has a link to their website. Okay, these are local listings. Another place that they appear is on this map. Notice a map for automotive repair in the Salt Lake Valley, and you'll see a number of different locations there. So this is all combined into local listings. Now, once we get into the listing, typically there are some other things you can do. If you search for Social 5 in Utah, for instance, you'll also get some photos off to the side. You'll get hours of operation, payment types accepted. I mean, all those types of things that are more of a premium level listing that you can have added to it as well, depending on what you do. And then at the bottom is organic listings. And this is where it is keyword based. So automotive repair, collision repair, those types of things will help you be listed down here in the bottom. So this is one of those secrets to SEO that a lot of businesses don't recognize, is there really are three tiers that we're talking about: paid, local, and organic. So think about your business and which one matters most for the audience that you're trying to reach. So I'm going to focus a little bit on the local side of things because there are some tools that we can empower you with. There are also some things that I would recommend that you do if you're trying to be found more frequently. So a few other numbers of why this would be important, because really as business owners, we look at this in terms of what is the return on investment. If we can pay $10 and get $12 in return, we would do that every day. Okay, and so what's the return that we can get off of putting money into search engine optimization? So these statistics evolving all the time as people are more and more using these crazy devices, the mobile phone and tablet. We are becoming a mobile-centric society. So fact is 43% of all Google searches are done for local products. Interesting, yeah, almost half. Next statistics. 88% of consumers who use their smartphone, okay, for a local search will call or visit the business within 24 hours. Okay, think about your behavior and how you use yours. I was out looking to buy lilacs for our backyard, and needed to find a nursery that was close. Searched for nursery on my phone and visited that one within that same day. Next statistic. An estimated 40% of business location information is incorrect, causing customers to lose approximately $10 billion annually in sales. Okay, I'll give you a few little examples on this. Well, I'll give you two. One is a Social 5 example. Okay, before we got into the search engine optimization business, we had listed our business in a few places. Okay, but we moved locations, not once but twice. Well, the problem is every time you list your business location, you need to go back and change that. Okay, and so we had inconsistent listings of where Social 5 was located. You might actually think that Social 5 had 3 locations in Utah and perhaps even another one out in Pennsylvania. Okay, because the information had not been updated as it should have been. Okay, did we lose business off that? Probably not, because we were more of an online marketing company. But here's an example. It certainly hurt our credibility in a big way. If we're an online marketing company and we don't have our listings consistent, that hurts credibility. So we were able to get all of that updated and changed and consistent. Here's an example of where someone actually does lose money. We had a restaurant. I'm trying to remember. I think it was a barbecue restaurant that moved locations, went from one county to another county. Well, didn't change their business directory information, so they still kept getting people going to their location in Utah County when they were really trying to launch a new location in Salt Lake County. Think about what happens, or your frustration level, even when you go to a location and it's not there, that is closed. Do you go there again? No, you probably go to another restaurant nearby. Okay, so they found themselves fragmenting their audience between those who are going to their old location and those going to a new location. Okay, that hurt business significantly upon launch. Okay, so how do we get our listings to be consistent? Okay, um, all right. Oh,
Jeremiah,
yes.
sorry, it's Kate again. I just had another thought I wanted to share. Something that we hear a lot about with, and that we were all scared about, remember when we first started doing online shopping, was, well, you can find it for cheaper online somewhere else. Why is anyone going to come visit my brick and mortar store? And things like that. And the cool thing about this local SEO is I feel like it's a really great way to combat that, oh, well, I can get it cheaper online issue. Because if they look it up and there's somewhere right nearby that has the thing you need, if it's $2 more than what it was online, you don't care. If you can go get it right now and not have to wait for it to come, there's a lot of, because we're searching on our phone at the time we want to make that purchase, a lot of times there is a really big element to that of, I just want to be able to go get it right now. And I feel like, especially with this local SEO, that really helps in that regard, that, they can find whatever's closest to them that has the product that they need, or whatever, like your lilacs or whatever it is they happen to be looking for. And so it really is a great way for brick and mortar businesses to combat that, the Amazon.com or something like that, where you can get anything online. But if people want it now and they want to be able to see it first and they're just ready to make their purchase, it's great if your result pops up, and that way they can go find what they need.
Great. Hey, thank you, Kate. And it's so fun to be back. I haven't been on Social Life University for a number of weeks, and my dear friend Mary Reese from Send Out Cards, she had sent me brownies a while back, and she did mention that it would be really hard to send those brownies if we didn't have the correct address. So thank you, Mary. I appreciate it. Appreciate that. It's always fun to be on these. Um, all right, so where do we start? And this is the tough part, because for many of us, and I'm going to put myself in that bucket as well. SEO can be scary. It feels techy. It feels complicated. It feels like you have to work some sort of magic to make it happen. So really, when we look at where to start, think about the places where people typically search. Okay, so I listed a number of these down below that are major search hubs, search engines. And the first one is where, if you're doing this manually on your own, really I would focus in these first four. Okay, Google, Yahoo, Bing, Ask. These are places that are used frequently for searching for a business. Then you can look at local directories, Yelp, Yellow Pages, Yellow Book, Dexnos. All of these places have places you can log in and put in your business information, okay, to be found. Search engines, you've got to do that. It's critical for your business to be recognized and to move yourself up in the rankings with those. So focus on those search engines first, okay? And that's kind of where I was looking with these good first steps. Google makes it fairly straightforward to be able to set up a business, and especially if you have a Google Plus page. Some of you have heard me talk about Google Plus being a barren wasteland of social interaction. Well, that is true, but it is great for search engine optimization. It's great to be found with Google. And so Google, you can create a business listing, you can create a Google Plus page, and those will help you. The same is true on Yahoo, and I put a little screenshot below. If you go to Yahoo and search for List My Business on Yahoo, it'll give you the opportunity to create a business profile. There is a tier of that listing that is free, and there is a tier of that listing that costs some money to be able to be found. But those are places to start with getting your business listed. Okay. One of the things that we offer for businesses and is a way to get that information out to a lot of directories in a short amount of time. And some of you are on this call today that have sent in some questions to me about how to navigate that service that we offer. What is the control panel? What is the distribution engine? What is the lead generation page? They're all components of a local SEO package and a listings package that we sell here at Social 5. So I'm going to walk through just a few things, maybe try to clear up what some components of that service are and how they help you, for those of you who are currently on that service. So really the way that our technology works, and those of you who are associated with Social 5 know that we are designed to really push out to a lot of places. Every part of our technology is built for scalability. And so we can push out directory information through our system to about 100 different directories and search engines and social media channels and car navigation systems, those types of things, so you can be listed in all those major locations. It gives the ability to also correct and enhance that information on the go. So if you're like that barbecue place and you move to a different county, you can hop in and you can change it, and it will push it out to those 100 plus directories. So you don't have inconsistent information online. It keeps the information fresh by pushing out real-time updates. We do tracking because I'm a kind of a data nerd. Kate can vouch for my love of spreadsheets and numbers and all that kind of stuff that tends to frighten away a lot of people. So I apologize to Kate on this call publicly. So and then the other aspect is searchability. Oh, and Kate, were you going to chime in there with just talking about my
I was just going to
numbers?
thank you for the public apology of all the data things that we have to fill out. So thank you.
Hey, no problem.
Sorry, we don't all love it as much as you do.
No, very good. Well, we have for anyone who likes numbers, we've got plenty of numbers, so we can help to show you where that information is being listed. I'm gonna show you what that looks like, and then security, and this is an important one. Sometimes we have well-meaning employees who get on and create a Google Plus page. They create a listing. Maybe they create a Twitter page for us, and they put in wrong information. Or maybe instead of doing 100 South spelled out as the address, they put 100S period or 100S without a period. Those show up as three different listings. Okay, and so well-meaning people can introduce incorrect or erroneous information into the system that then can hurt you from a SEO perspective. So this system creates a hub where if someone tries to introduce mistaken or erroneous information, even if it's well-intentioned, it can clean that information up. Okay. Um, all right, so publication to 100 plus directories. I've shown you a few of those here. Here are just a couple other ones. We tend not to always think about car navigation systems as being a directory, but anytime you buy a Ford or a BMW or whatever you happen to buy, a lot of times it will come with GPS. So it'll come with a navigation system. Each of those auto manufacturers has a directory that they upload into those automobiles. Or if you're using a Samsung versus an Apple, in terms of mobile searchability, Google, Yahoo, and Bing, being able to be found where people search, not necessarily because you search there, not because I happen to visit Urban Spoon or just because my daughter uses a phone that's HTC. Regardless of whether we use it ourselves, there may be a customer who uses it. So we try to cover a whole wide variety of those directories and push it out automatically in a way that you can then change that information over time if something changes with your business. The next one is the SEO control panel. Okay, this is the one that I love to spend way too much time on, and really there are a few components to it. First is trackability of who is viewing your listings. Is anybody really seeing the listing on City Maps, or are they seeing it on Bing or City Search? Does anyone see those? And that's what this is meant to answer. And when somebody clicks on that directory or sees that directory, it counts it. So in this particular company, man, I'm having maybe your eyes are better than mine. This is a little bit small, but looks like 13 hits on this day and down to like 8 or 6 or something on this day. But it's looking at how many people are seeing this. Now, there's a reason why we track it this way as opposed to tracking it on their website directly, even though we do that occasionally. Um, the reason is when somebody goes to your listing or when you go to a listing online, do you always go to the website? Or do you pick up the phone? Or do you type up an email? Or do you simply look at the hours of operation and go to the business? So a lot of times it's difficult to track how valuable your listing information is. So we track it every time somebody looks at the listing, okay? Because that is information for the business to say, yes, indeed, there is a return on my investment somehow there. You can see the business profile here on the side where somebody can update that at any time. And also on this side, you can see the what do you call it? You can click on any of these that have a live listing where I can say what does my listing look like on Yahoo, and I can click on it. It'll show me what that listing looks like. So it's designed to create kind of a self-encapsulated, business profile where you can change any of that information anytime, and we can edit the location. You can also edit the content on a lead generation page I'm going to show you in just a moment. All right, so one thing we just came through here, a question. Can you tell us how Google ranks within the local section when someone does a search? If I ask Siri a question, which search engine is used? And really good question. And let me try to answer that question. The first part, not totally clear on, but I'm going to try. Okay, so the way that Google ranks local searches. So if I say find restaurants, and it will pull up a search of all restaurants in that local vicinity. There are a few things that it's going to look at. It's going to look at the listings that have the most complete information. Okay, so what has the most information? Do they have hours of operation? Do they have those types of things? It looks at how many reviews they have. Are people commenting on that business? It looks at, does that business have a Google Plus page? That's one of those secret things there that Google does give a benefit, SEO benefit, somebody with a Google Plus page. If they have a website, that factors into it. There are a number of different factors when they look at your total ranking, your total searchability for that listing. So hopefully that gets a little bit close to answering the question. But then there's the question of, if I ask Siri which search engine will be used, and it depends on your phone. So for instance, with Siri and an Apple device, it automatically defaults to Safari as your internet browser. Okay, and Safari goes to, and I'm trying to remember here, is it? Oh goodness, I'm thinking it's Bing. But you know what? I guess the thing I would mention is, depending on your internet browser, if it's Chrome, it will default to Google. If it's if you're using an Apple device, a lot of times it defaults to a Bing. There's some that default to Yahoo, but it really depends on the mobile device that you're using. Okay, so sorry not to be super clear on this one. Um, Good, and hopefully, Brad, in terms of determining who's on the top of that local section, it is a compilation of all of those factors of number of reviews, the amount of information that's in their profile, if they have a Google Plus page, if their website is highly trafficked, it factors those into account. All right. Oh, and a question that came in, and we can address this a little bit more at the end of does Social 5 offer SEO paid advertising at the top? And we can definitely touch on that one a little bit later on. But the short answer is yes, we do that for businesses. There are some businesses I would recommend it for, others that I would not. It can be a somewhat costly endeavor at times. Generally, the minimum entry point for paid advertising on our side is about $200 to really get the kind of traction that you'd like. But a lot of times you'll see businesses out there that, particularly in competitive industries, if you're in apparel or if you're in food or retail, that may spend $900 or $1,000 a month on advertising to be found for a very specific search term. Okay, that's in a competitive industry, and really kind of an industry average trend. We have a minimum entry point of about $200, for paid advertising. So yeah, great questions. Thank you for sending those along, and feel free to drop other ones there into the question box as we go through here. Just got about one or two slides left, and we'll jump into those. So this is the control panel. Let me show you the lead generation page, and I think this is what I get more questions on than just about anything else, because people can understand we're going to push out to all these search engines. We're going to push out to directories like Dex Online. We're going to push out to car navigation systems, and then provide you a way to track that information analytically. The lead generation page is one that's a little hard to get your head around. Really, what we've tried to do is create a system that is affordable. That sometimes when we create a website, we want to put a lot of stuff in that website, and we have a lot of different hands in the cookie jar, you might say. And so our website may go from being 2 or 3 pages to 15 pages to 30 pages, and it may be with divergent strategies on what content should go here or there. Where should I put my information in it? And it becomes somewhat like a cluttered garage. Okay, we all love our garages. We can all find stuff in there. We can rummage through things, but really the task of going in and cleaning up your garage so that we can fit another car in or whatever, or so it's presentable, that's a little bit of a daunting process. It can be a little bit expensive. The lead generation page, what it does is it builds a clean garage right next to your dirty garage with an entryway that goes right into your website. Okay, so we are taking all of those SEO best practices and creating a way to generate leads off of that page, and then to channel people into your website. There are also some technological elements too, and I won't bore people too much, but if you see some of the content that we are producing there on the page for SEO, it's great, but what it does is the technology refreshes it every week so that major search engines recognize this lead generation page as being continuously updated. And those of you who are on that are on our rank package, which is that higher level package, we do flow blog content and regular content on this page on a monthly basis to make sure that it is searchable and can be found, and that all of the leads that we generate or reviews that we generate, they can go back to that business, for capturing that information. Hopefully that crystallizes a little bit more. So with that, let me open it up and see if there are any questions. And I know SEO can be a little bit of a daunting thing to ask questions about too, but happy to help. I did have a question that came in from one of my dear friends that's part of Send Out Cards, which is a great company for sending greeting cards and brownies and things to individuals. And within Send Out Cards, they have something that are called replicated sites, or they're miniature websites for people who are distributing their products. And this technology can be used for a replicated site. And this may apply to anyone who is part of a corporate site that's going down. If the site has a unique URL or unique link. So this is like, let's say my business is widgets, so widgets.com. Okay, so widgets.com would be great to do the SEO package on. But let's say widgets.com is a corporation and my website is widgets.com / Jeremiah Stetler. So now I am a subdomain, or I am a page or a miniature or often a replicated website off of that. That's a subdomain. That's when SEO is less effective, or on-site work is less effective. But here's the caveat to that. Okay, and I don't want to go too far in the weeds, so I apologize for that. Even if you do have a replicated website or a subdomain off of a corporate site, you still can do directory information. You can still be listed on Dex Online and Yellow Book and in those major search engines to be found by people in your specific geography. That is the approach that I would say you should go after. Okay, that's the type where it doesn't matter how your website's built. It matters that you have an audience in a geographic network to target. All right. Good, good. So those are questions that have come through. Are any other questions? Just opening it up. If it's about SEO, if it's about social media, if it's about what's that crazy picture in the background there? Hey, any of that? Happy to answer those. All right. Well, good. All right. Well, we will wrap up for the day. And by the way, just for curiosity purposes, picture in the background is Denmark, Copenhagen, Denmark. Lived in Denmark for a couple of years. And so, hvis der er nogen der taler dansk, jeg kan tale med dig. So, if you speak Danish, you may have understood that. Yeah, that's what that one is. All right, well, good. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. Pleasure to be with you at Social 5 University. All right, have a great day.